So this is my local pond. I only joined it last year, and I've only fished it a couple of times. There's all sorts in here. Carp, tench, roach, rudd, bream, eels. But the main thing I'm interested in is the perch. So this is the swim I've chosen, and you can see why. We've got an overhanging tree just down to the right, and a nice overhanging tree here. So that's where I've got my two baits. The plan for today is to try and catch a perch. I love my old perch fishing, and this local pond behind me contains a few, although I've never actually caught one out of here yet, but then I've only fished it a couple of times. So that's the plan. Perch. I've got a logworm on the right hand rod, and I've got a section of prawn on the left hand rod. Just swung them out in the edges, swung them out really close in under the overhanging trees, and fingers crossed. I do love it when a plan comes together. It's the first trip out this year, although we are in the middle of February, and I've come up to my local pond to try and catch a perch. And look what I've caught. A nice little perch. Exactly what I was after. Right little porker this one is. And it's my first fish of 2021. Well, morning guys. Here we are again after a perch on my local pond. I had a good time last week, so I thought I'd come up and give it another go. So I'm fishing exactly the same way. Ledgered prawn and ledgered logworms just swung out in the edges under the overhanging trees. It's about 8 o'clock now, 8:15, something like that, and I've just started. Oh yes, that didn't take long. I'm hoping it's a perch because it's on a prawn, little section of prawn. Feels like a perch. It is a perch. Oh yes, it's a nice sized perch too. Come on. Yes. What a porker that is. That is a £2 plus perch. That's a £2 plus perch, easy. £3, 3 ounces of amazing local pond perch. How about that? This is more than I could have hoped for. I was hoping for a £2 plus perch today, or this month. I was going to give it a good old go on the prawns, and it's worked out. First cast today. £3, 3 ounces. Biggest perch I've ever caught. Stunning, stunning £3 plus perch. Absolutely perfect. I've done it again. This has got to be the best day's perch fishing I've ever had. And it's another good fish. Just under £3 this one. And I made it £2.14 ounces. And another cracker. They're really nice fish in this pond. They're really fat, chunky, stocky fish. Unlike other waters I've fished where they've been quite long and lean. In here they all seem to be real fat porkers. Good morning, guys. Bit of a cold one today. The temperature gauge on the car was reading -2 this morning, and the field's totally frozen over. But luckily the lake's not frozen over. So we're up on my local pond, and we're going to have another go for perch. Back on the pond trying to catch myself a perch. Float fishing with one rod today, so I'm ledgering on one rod, float fishing a section of worm on the other one, and I've got a bite within the first hour, and I've just landed one. So I've just landed one, but it's not the intended species. It's not a perch. Look at that. An absolutely immaculate, cracking, double figure common. So not the perch that I was after, but don't mind catching these. The great thing about this little pond is nobody else seems to want to fish it. Which is just as well, because with the COVID restrictions at the moment, I can't actually fish anywhere else. This is the nearest pond to me, so I'm stuck here, and I'm quite happy about that. So I'll be carrying on. Well, morning all. Welcome to a very frosty morning on my local pond. I've just driven up here, and I did notice that my temperature gauge on the car was saying -3, -4. But I must admit, I was a bit surprised when I pulled up at the pond to find it almost completely frozen over. So I don't know if I've wasted my trip. Well, this is my favourite little spot at the moment, where I've had a few nice decent perch recently, and where I want to fish, right by those sunken trees there, it looks ice free. So I'm going to give it a go. Well, after that frosty start, the sun's come out quite nicely now. So I'm going to get a couple of hours in the sunshine to thaw my fingers out. But I've had some action. Again, it's not the intended species. Another immaculate common. Good morning, everyone. Another trip on my local pond. Now the weather's a little bit different to it was 3 days ago. As you may be able to hear, it's quite windy. I came down on Sunday for a few hours and the lake was frozen and the temperature was -3, -4. Today, just 3 days later, it's 7 or 8 degrees when I drove up today, so you know, quite a bit of difference. The wind swung around, we've got due south, we've got a big storm coming in today with heavy rain due in a couple of hours time actually. So it looks like it's going to be a wet, windy day. Now I'm hoping that that's going to result in me getting another one of these beautiful perch, because the 2 times that I've caught perch when I've been down here, it has been just like this, windy, you know, a strong southwest, south wind blowing straight into this swim, which it is today. So if I can stick it out in the heavy rain, I've bought my brolly and I bought my overwrap and my waterproofs, so I'm going to try and stick it out. Let's see how we do. Well, that didn't take long. 27 minutes past 7, so I've been cast out less than half an hour. And that right hand rod just went off, and look what I've got. That's a £2 plus perch. That's a great start. Smashing fish. I do love my perch. Right, let's see if we can get another one. The wind and the rain is getting stronger and stronger, and I've been sheltering under my wind battered tent there. It's just got flatter and flatter and flatter. It's virtually blown flat on the ground. But anyway, it's been quite an action-packed day, because I've had seven bites today. The first one started off really well. I had that lovely £2 8-ounce perch. Getting blown over here. The second one was a carp. They absolutely screamed off. Took me around the trees. Got me stuck in the trees in the end. I actually ended up climbing out on that tree there, so I managed to get right out to the end of the trees there, and I could see the fish. You know, it wasn't a massive common, it was a sort of a 6 or 7 pound common, something like that, but I just couldn't get close enough to net it, and in the end it slipped the hook, so I lost that one. Then I had to wait a while. Then I had another good take, smack straight up to the top, took a bit of line and threw the hook. That was another carp. That one bow waved off across the lake, so that was 3. Then I had 3 reasonable lifts, you know, halfway up and stopped. That was probably perch. And then just now, about a quarter of an hour ago, I was sheltering in the bivvy and I just got an absolute one-toner. Beep! And I rushed out, slipped in the mud, went right up in the air, came down on my knees, slapped my hands and my hat fell off, and by the time I got myself to my feet again, the run had stopped. So I've actually had 7 bites today, and I've landed just the 1 fish. So it started off well, but it's been a bit of a comedy of errors since. I mean, the gloves are covered in mud, my hat's probably covered in mud, and oh dear, state of me ear. Muddy knees. But I'm going to give it another hour, and then I'm off. I've you know, sort of had enough really. So better luck next time, but at least I had a nice perch. Well, there's the bait. Bit of a chewed up section of prawn. What could be better? Great stuff. It's another fantastic perch. Right old fatty, this one. Just over £3. £3 1 ounce I'm giving this one. Very accurately weighed. I'm just about to pack up actually. It's a last gasp bite. And it's a cracking perch of £3 plus. What about that then? Right, let's get this beautiful £3 plus perch back to his home. What a day I've had. Two cracking perch, 2.9 and a 3.1. I mean, you can't complain about that, can you? I mean, this is the best perch fishing I've ever had, and nobody else wants to fish here. I can't understand it. There's some cracking fish in here. I know the record, the club record, which was caught from this pond about 3 or 4 years ago, was £3 6 ounces. So I've had a 3.3 and a 3.1 now, and some other good twos. I'm convinced there's a bigger fish in here, you know, bigger than £3 6, so 3.5, maybe even more. You know, it could be a dream 4-pounder in here, for all I know. So I'm going to have a few more sessions before proper spring arrives, and I'll switch my attentions to tench then. But fingers crossed, I'll get that record breaker. Well, morning all. Back on my favourite little pond, my favourite little swim again. I got here about the usual 7 o'clock this morning. Put my prawn baits out there. It's about 9:15 now, and I'm having a bit of a mare. I've had four decent runs already. 4 runs in the first couple of hours. First one smacked up, rod tip pulled around, struck and bumped fish. You know, it came off straight away. That was a definite perch. A while later, same rod, smack, off again, struck, missed it. There's a big boil. Excuse me. There's a big boil and a carp shot off across the lake, so that's a definite carp, that one. Then half an hour later again, the other rod. That one went off. Smack straight up, rod tip pulled around, struck, missed it. Couldn't believe it. That was a perch, definitely. And about 5 minutes ago, same left hand rod again. All the way up, line tightened, rod tip pulled around, struck, perch, built a perch on, and then it came off. So I've had 4 runs in the first 2 hours, and I've not landed a fish yet. I've got plenty of time left. So what can I tell you? £3 8 ounces. Never such a fat fish, this one. What about that then? £3.5, smashing. Right old fatty, this one. And my PB perch. So I can't complain about that. £2.25 this one. Nice stripy perch. I've only been here an hour, so there could be more to come. It's my old mate again. 2 weeks ago it was £3 8. A new club record. This time it's lost a little bit, it's dropped a little bit. It's £3 6 now. Same bait, same swim. So he's obviously a resident fish. A real beautiful, fat, porky resident fish. A lovely old fish. Time's getting on now. It's about 5 o'clock. Going to be packing up in about half an hour, so 5:30 I'll be calling it a day. And I think this is probably going to be my last session on the pond after the perch. You know, I've been fishing on here for the last 5 weeks. I've had about 8 sessions. I've done really well. You know, I've had a great time. I've had some lovely perch. The smallest one was £1 4 ounce. All the others were over 2, up to £3 8. I had a £3 8, £3 6, £3 3, £3 1, 2.14, 2.9, a couple of 2.8s, 2.6, and the small £1 4. So it's pretty good going. I've really enjoyed it, but it's time to move on. Time to move on now, I think. I'm definitely going to be trying something else different next week. April time, I'm going to hopefully be getting into my tench fishing. So I'll see you then.